Welcome back, art friends, to Frogs, Frogs, Frogs. In this lesson, we're going to look at linear frogs, drawing with line, and we're also going to use the eco colours. So I'm going to go through the art equipment first to make sure you have everything in front, and I always have a little bit more than I need. So in front of me I have my A3 paper, I have a little bit of paper towel, I have a water sprayer and a pot of water. I always like to have a few pens and pencils handy, whether I use them or not. I have a brush and I have some sticks. I grow bamboo in my garden, so I've actually got some bamboo sticks, but some twigs or sticks from a walk or garden. And I do have a wider brush just in case. I have my reference pictures of frogs and I have my eco colours. So I have the three primary colours, which are yellow, blue and red. But I've also made a chartreuse, a bright green, and I've made a dark green. So I can use all those different colours. Let's begin. So I'm just going to take a photo, one of my photos. And I'm going to start with this guy. So what we're doing is we're doing a linear drawing, so we're not worried about shape. We're looking for the line. So you can take your stick, we're going to start with the stick, and you can actually go around your picture like this. It starts to get your memory working, and that's sort of the lines you're going to be looking for. And we're going to draw in several different ways, because what I want you to do is to experiment and play with your eco colours and line. So I'm going to show you a few tricks to do that. So I'll just put my picture to the side. My paper is dry, so we're working wet on dry. I'm going to start with the blue and dip my bamboo stick in, and I'm looking at the nose of my frog here, and I'm just going to start to draw. So I'm going around the eye, down the back, re-dipping, down the back, and there's another eye. I might put that up there so I don't have so far to dip. I've made a mistake, so I just keep drawing. I don't worry about any mistakes. Oops, I've made another mistake, which doesn't matter because it's creating interesting lines. And I'm going down to the arm, looking for those finger shapes. Suggestion of where they go. Under the underbelly, back leg. I'm going for the toes. Circly bits there, and the second back leg, so it sort of goes there, bit sticking out there. Okay, so that's one. Now you can leave it like that, or if you'd like you can take your water spray and give as a spray just here and there, and your lines will expand, which is nice. So that's one. So the second one, I'll get another picture. Okay, so this guy's on a stick. This time I'm going to start up the top here, and I'm actually going to wet a little bit of the page. So instead of working wet to dry, I'm now working a little bit of wet on wet. I'm going to use green, and I'm going to change hands. So I'm using my non-dominant hand. So I'm left-handed, so I'm going to take my bamboo piece, take my green, move my drawing to this side because I'm using the other hand, and just move these out the way. Okay, and again they're quick drawings, dipping my bamboo stick and going for the eyes first. This guy's got a very clear mouth, so just there's a line. So I'm just looking at line description Now there's a stick going down here, so I sort of put that stick in. So he's got an arm coming around. These shapes are a bit hard to describe, the webbed hands. I'm just sort of putting them in as best I can. His back's coming out over behind the stick. And my bamboo's actually making 2 lines all by itself, which is quite interesting. The leg. And the second leg. I'm just going to pop that eye in. And the eye over there. Just checking my lines. Okay, so that's number 2. So I've done one with my right hand, one with the small bamboo, one with the larger bamboo, and now I've got another little picture. This guy's jumping, and this time I might actually take my brush. So I'm going to go in with the red. I think that's not a clean red. Let's see, this one looks cleaner. No, that's a yellow, so I'm going to go in with the yellow. I'm just going to clean my brush. I think there's a bit of leftover blue on it. There is, okay, so that's all right. Oh, they are lovely. That's a nice clean yellow. I'll go in with the gold. Okay, so back to my left hand, which is my dominant hand. And now I've loaded up my brush with the Eco Colour yellow, and I'm going to just draw over the top. Some of the paper might be wet, some of it might be dry. If you notice where I'm holding my brush, I'm holding it at the end because I want a nice loose line. So here I go. So his nose goes around, that's his eye there. It's a very little picture, so it's a little bit tricky. I like this one because he's jumping though. Right, he's got a little fat belly. So because I'm holding my brush right at the end like this, I just have a little bit less control. And that's actually a good thing because it stops that overthinking of making that perfect picture. We're not worried about making a perfect picture. We're exercising our hand and our eye, our observational skills and our linear work. That's all we're worried about. We're not worried about making perfect pictures. We'll make a finished picture later. This is just our learning process, gathering information. Okay, I'm on the second leg. The brush holds the colour a lot longer than the stick, so I haven't had to re-dip. I'm just sort of going blah, 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 little twist for the feet because I can hardly see. And coming out for the arm, I can see 1, 2, 3 distinctive fingers. There's a little web there, so I'll put that in. And on the other side, there's just a little bit of a arm coming up and a few dots. I might put those border dots in. I might do that to get a few of those water splatters. Okay, so let's put that in the water. So I'm happy with that. I've got 3 drawings and they've all been done differently. So what I would like you to do is to do 6 or maybe 9 sets of 3. Try one with your dominant hand, one with your non-dominant hand. Maybe spray the water and see what happens. Wet the page first, work on the dry page. A bit more spray. And experiment and play. You can even do blind drawings. I'll quickly show you a blind drawing. So I'll just pop that to the side. So a blind drawing is when you don't look. I'll get a new frog. This one's interesting because he's got incredibly strange hands. So a blind drawing is when you're not looking at the paper, but you're just looking at what you're drawing. So I'm just going to go here with the red. So I'm going to start up here at the eye, and I'm actually, if you look at what I'm doing, I'm looking at the paper, not my page, and I'm using my finger to follow the line. Like this, and you sort of don't take your marker off the page much. But I will need to re-dip, so I'm just going to re-dip. I'm going to go back to where I was, so which is here. I'm just doing a sneaky glance just to see where I was up to and to re-dip. Right, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to start there at the mouth. Right, I'm going to come back to this back. So re-dip, come back to the back. There's a leg. A longer toe. Nose. That's not the nose is up there. Okay, so a blind drawing can be done in several different ways. You can just look at your picture and not take your marker or tool off the paper. Because we were using ink and I needed to re-dip, I was realigning myself. But that gives you a really interesting, well, I find it more interesting because the marks aren't a little bit more spontaneous. So I've got a really lovely frog there, and I actually think that one's my favourite. And again, if I wanted to, I could give that a little spray and release some of that eco colour. Okay, so let's go and experiment and have fun. You can use your left hand, your right hand, you can use sticks, you can use brushes, you can use water, the water sprayer, but all you're doing is a linear observational drawing by looking. If you are having trouble, use your finger to trace around the shape as you draw, and that sometimes helps. Have fun, and I will see you in our next lesson.